Welcome back to the Splatoon 2 North America Inkling Open 2019. Jordan Kent alongside Ashley Esqueda and Charles 9 Whitehead. We have 3 teams that have punched their tickets to PAX East for these finals. You have Team What, yes, that's their name, as well as Low Key Splatoon, and then Feed to Win, just getting the victory. Make sure you stick around after this final match. We'll bring you the second half of our exciting doubleheader today. The Super Smash Bros. Ultimate North America Open 2019, our second online event final there. Those 4 finalists representing the Northeast, Southeast, Southwest, and Northwest will join our other finalists that we had a couple weeks ago. So it's a great caravan of players that we're bringing to PAX East as they get set to take the big stage here. But getting back to Splatoon 2, we've got one more spot available at PAX East. And 9, you look at Demise, Luminous. This might be our most tightly contested matchup we'll have all day.
I mean, based on the seeds, this is the 3 and the 6 seed, and that is the community seeded that one. So that should tell you how much respect they have for both of those teams. So on paper, it should be. These teams have battled a lot as well. I will say Demise generally gets the better of them, but I am hoping that this is our closest set, maybe even giving us a game 6. Can we get a game 6? Can we get that? We'll talk 7 once we get there.
Well, it's such a good point because you had a 4-0 sweep for what? A 4-0 sweep for Feed to Win, and then Low Key Splatoon 4-1. And so really, we haven't seen that back and forth, but that also speaks to the fact that these top-level players, Ashley, are very familiar with each other, and they're just so good at the basic fundamentals. Sure, the special weapons, all those things are great, but their basic fundamentals are what have propelled them to get to this point.
Exactly. And not only that, they're also, they scrim with each other. They know each other. They're in the community. They're not just, getting together to practice and play the tournament. I mean, they're all playing against each other because who do you practice against if you're one of the best? The other best. That's how you do it. So these are all players who are very familiar with each other. They know their strategies, they know what they love for loadouts, they are very familiar with each other, and so it is definitely, it could be anyone's game on any given day.
We'll start with tower-controlled Starfish main stage here in just a moment, but 9, you speak about Demise and this team that's really been steadily climbing to elite status, and here they are. They find themselves as the number 3 seed.
They are the number 3 seed, and this is really their chance to, again, punch their ticket and get another shot at these top 2 teams, at Feed to Win and at What. They have climbed just about every other part of the Splatoon mountain. They've got wins over so many big teams, but they don't have the big victory. To be fair, though, that can also be said about our other team, Luminous. They're a balanced team, but they also lack that big victory. There is a lot on the line for both.
Is there anything in particular that really sticks out about both these teams? I know when we were looking at Low Key Splatoon, it's that interesting loadout. But are these teams going to be doing anything that really stands out to you, or is it just more of those core fundamentals we speak about?
We'll take a look at both of their team comps. The thing you say about both of these teams is they're balanced. It's almost the exact same con. Kensa dualies. You've got the Kensa Splat Undercover Umbrella, the Kensa Sloshing Machine. The only thing that's different is their choice of backliner. These are 2 of the most balanced teams in the game right now. It's just a matter of execution and communication for them.
Yeah, you mentioned the difference in the backliners, Jet Squelcher versus that Splatter Scope, so keep an eye on that and who can be the most effective at the backline, because that's really the only difference we're seeing in this loadout. Early on, Razel with the Stingray ready to go. Neither team able to claim control of that tower because, Ashley, you don't want to just go out there and grab the first piece of candy on the tray. You got to make sure you have the advantage. You won't get in trouble if you do.
That's right. You got to have all your squids in a row instead of ducks. And you got to be ready to get through all of the ink. I mean, and the thing is you know that Raziel is going to have that Stingray ready. You know it's going to be there. So for that first pull on the tower, you absolutely want to make sure you get through that Stingray, I think, first.
Early on, advantage for Demise in the orange, but it's not much. We're talking about a hair right there. 93 to 98 as they continue to build upon their lead, looking to get to that first checkpoint. 4-3 advantage on the field. No sloshing machine out there for Luminous. So that takes a little bit of bite out of Luminous at the moment.
It does, and that is very bad because we have seen when you are able to push up as far as Demise is now, that is where this map starts to get just a little bit too much, and this is an aggressive team. It is a balanced comp, but make no mistake, they want to come to you, and Raziel makes that possible here, sitting a little further back than we've seen some of those other front or backliners do, but I imagine we'll see him move over here pretty soon.
Raziel doing a fine job of keeping some pressure off the tower. However, it's going to reset on its own. Demise trying to get back on top. Fluffy, meanwhile, with the umbrella, trying to stay dry up here as Fluffy deploys some more ink and some protection, but they can't seem to dig that tower out of that gap that we talked about here, 9, and that just puts so much pressure on the opposition at this point. Fluffy getting countered. You figured eventually Fluffy was going to get splatted there at that point. Certainly does. Now, Ashley, Demise has got the pressure on. If you're Luminous C, is there any way that you see them digging out of this little deficit right here?
I think right now, no. I mean, we've got the Stingray going. I think one of the best things they can do is maybe attempt to take out Raziel. I mean, he's really doing a great job in that back line of keeping everybody safe and able to get onto that tower and push forward.
The double splat by the Stingray was huge to open things up. Demise trying to get to that final checkpoint here. Splashdown coming in to play right there. 98-17. Demise trying to clean things out. 3-3 on the field. Special ready to go for Luminous C. They've got 2 special, but no, that sloshing machine will go down. 3-2 advantage for Demise. Demise just inches away from victory. However, the tower's getting reset. It's 4-4. Still plenty of time left in this one, 9, but already we see Demise has had the advantage with all the pressure and aggression.
Luminous C hasn't been in the middle of the map in almost 2 minutes here, and part of that is because Raziel willing to stay back just a little bit further means right there you saw where they finally had a chance to come back out, and one of them went down because Raziel was sitting on that side. Now, finally, they've pulled themselves out of the hole. This is what they needed to do. They needed to get back to the center, but they're just going down a little bit too early. It's like every time they start to push out, they just stumble a little bit. They trip. Raziel gets a snipe. Somebody goes down to a special. It's just not coordinated right now.
Yeah, we saw Raziel super jump back home for some milk and cookies in a reset position with that splatter scope and already picking off people left and right. And that's when you have a backliner, Ashley, that can be that powerful, how it makes life difficult.
He's making such good choices in this game because when he jumped back to base, that meant he was not going to lose that special charge. And for your teammate that has the Stingray, especially in tower control, that is so key to not lose that charge. So for him to jump back and take a second as opposed to just trying to get a trade or doing something, over by the tower was so smart of him.
Demise with the advantage, but 9, we speak about score and situation. You might start to downshift into more of a defensive stance here to make sure Luminous C doesn't stack some specials and get a miracle push at the end of this one.
He might, but if there is one team that is not going to do that on the field right now, it is Demise. They have made their money based on being an aggressive team. And you see, look how far tension is pulled up, sitting in what was essentially a 2v1 situation and now jumping over and continuing to push. They know that they have their specials, and more than anything, they know they have Raziel. They know they have a Stingray. They're going to continue to push this until the clock runs out.
Raziel doing a fine job of just heading back to base anytime they get into trouble. Jared trying to apply some pressure, but it's going to be too little, too late as Demise continues their dominance. Luminous C, they get a splat there, so hold on, it's 3-2. They've got the tower. There's the blaring horn of overtime. Can anybody from Luminous C dethrone Demise in the back, or will Demise be able to just sit back and hold things down here, Ashley?
Well, I'll tell you right now, Raziel just got splatted, which means he lost that charge for his special. So there is no Stingray available to Demise right now. So this could actually be very advantageous for Luminous C.
Luminous C getting their best push of the match so far, but it's in overtime, so you can't miss on any pitches here. Fluffy up top gets dislodged by the torpedo, and that will do it. Demise able to hang on in overtime and get the victory over Luminous C. They'll take a 1-0 advantage, and really it was the backline work that we saw from Raziel for Demise, and also doing a great job of staying alive, because that's also key in this matchup as well.
It is, and we talked earlier about aggressive backliners and how they can continue to make those pushes deep, but when you have a backliner that's willing to stay back a little bit, it means that your frontliners can go a little bit further, knowing that if 2 of them trade and your backliner is able to take one out, the opponent's not going to be able to get much mounted, and it's a risk-reward situation. Sure, you risk that, and if that's what you're risking, that's not bad, and your reward, full wipes, big wins, and a Game 1 victory for Demise.
Demise jumping back to base, and really the position he was able to find, Ashley, we talked about how Luminous C was unable to really control the middle of the map, and that was because of Raziel and that splatter scope.
Absolutely, and I think like I said, his choices in that game were so good in that he knew, okay, like this is not a fight worth going down for. So I'm just going to jump back to base, get regrouped, and be able to, he controlled the back line. I mean, any time Luminous C was even close to him, he was like, no, We won't be having that today.
And there is one other thing that's crazy about, maybe not crazy, but about Raziel. Raziel will hold on to those stingrays a little longer than a lot of people
He held on
will.
to one for almost a minute.
Other people will jump back and use those stingrays very
Immediately.
early. But what you see from Raziel's staying up in that position, understanding that my team needs me to hold this down so they can do what they do. Jumping out and stingraying is nice, but sometimes there are more important things.
Yeah.
We're going to have Splat Zones and Humpback Pump Track coming up here, and we speak about Raziel and his backline prowess, and it really seems like the matchup between these two teams is going to come down to, can Luminous C get to Raziel and dislodge him because he's so key to the aggressive play style we see from Demise? How does that backline work in a smaller stage like Humpback Pump Track?
That's going to be an interesting question because I know Raziel has some Splatlings as well. I would wager that we'll probably see the Splatlings come out here.
Yeah.
But that does open things up a little bit. Splatlings don't get that nice one-shot splat that, of course, we see from the sniper. Raziel is going to be sticking with it, it looks like. But on the other side of things, keep an eye on Umbre's Explosher. We talked earlier about Explosher, how strong it is on this map. Usually both teams will run it. Only one team is running it right now. Gonna have to stay alive, though, long enough to make use of it.
Demise with the 1-0 lead in our fourth and final match to find our final team to head to PAX East. But this is a matchup with two of the most evenly matched teams coming into this right now. Demise losing control of the zone early on. They've got that penalty, and here comes Luminous C taking advantage. But now you look at the lockout phase here, Ashley. What are we trying to see from Luminous C if they want to accomplish that?
I mean, Luminous C they are going to have to be aggressive here. This is, they are going to want to lock them out of even getting close to that splat zone. Obviously, Raziel doing a really good job. He's got his ink wall. He's ready to go. And he's doing a really good job of making sure that lockout does not happen.
Raziel with the splash wall and then the suction bomb launcher as well too, 9, and able to just cover so much ink with that combination.
It is, and again, this is one of those maps where you throw every special you have because sometimes it only takes one special right there. You saw Gray single-handedly take that, but again, the follow-up on these caps has not been working out well for Luminous C. You've seen Demise, they get this, they're immediately looking to push up, and now it looks like that actually might have backfired a little bit though, and this is classic Humpback Pump Track. This might be the most swing-heavy map in the entire game for Splat Zones.
4-3, Raziel trying to get some openings available for that splatter scope, but you see Luminous C is aware of what he can do, and they're applying all sorts of pressure on Raziel, trying to dislodge him. Luminous C with the lead and the advantage of the zone, but it's going to go ahead and go to neutral at this point in 9. What do we see there?
Well, we saw a very, very clutch 1v1 on the other side, breaking a baller early. However, there were two people on the other side of the map, and I love the way that Luminous C very methodically moved up. Raziel's going to get pushed way back now and not going to be able to escape. That is why you bring an Explosher here, that nice arc. And remember, the Charger's not very mobile, especially when there's an Explosher painting under their feet.
Umbre with a critical splat of Raziel, and now you see the push into the lockdown stage, and they've really got Demise back on their heels here. And this is what we were talking about. Raziel, such a great backliner, but this is a map that doesn't necessarily play to a backliner with the splatter scope super well, and Luminous C aware of that, but Demise still fighting strong. A couple of ballers, though, will reclaim the lead and control for Luminous C. Now, you're up 3-2 at this point here, Ashley. You can't stop being aggressive if you're Luminous C because you know how quickly Demise can come back.
And you can see right now, they're literally gunning for Raziel. They are working very hard to keep him from that one perch that he's been sitting at for most of the game.
DJ, though, finds a base, or finds a zone that is rather unoccupied at this point. Raziel trying to find a different perch here, moving his position, and sometimes you have to do that, 9, if the other team is starting to condition themselves to finding you in one spot.
I mean, and you summarized it right there. Great job by Raziel moving up to this side, and it's going to allow the team to move up and just establish some sort of advantage for themselves here. I love the in-game adaptation. They do have a chance right now. They're going to need to get control the zone right now. You see there's a lot of members of Luminous C still up. This will not be a clean cap, as you see right there, until they're able to get at least 2 or more down.
4-3, but they take out the one special that was available for Luminous C. So Demise trying to mount a comeback. However, they lose control. They'll have a small penalty. Luminous C trying to hang on. Still plenty of time left, and a map where you said, 9, there's a lot of swings at any moment, so you can never relax. Nice double splat right there. And Demise, this is their opportunity right here Ashley, they've got to lock things out, though.
This is a real chance for them to kind of get back into it. I mean, but they have got to execute here. They have got to play good defense, and they also have to be a little bit aggressive here. They have got to keep Luminous away from that splat zone.
Keep an eye on Raziel, because now he's found a spot to be comfortable, and you've got Demise that is threatening the lead for Luminous. They're down by 11. Oh, they're getting close now. Only 4 points away. Luminous will not be able to turn the tides, and the 4-0 wipe by Demise has given them the lead. What a comeback by the boys in blue as they start to put this one away, and that'll do it. Demise, they got the wipe, but then also you got Raziel to a point where he was comfortable, and even though we didn't really see it a lot right there, but in the end, Raziel was really doing a lot to apply pressure at base against Luminous.
Well, the laser's so scary. You know that laser means someone's looking at you, so you have to kind of play around that. And, you know, you can see here on the splat sheet, there's pretty even, right? I mean, it really did seem like Luminous had an advantage there, but once they got pushed back out, the coordination of the specials was just not there. You saw them throw 2 specials at the zone and not even cap it to put that penalty on. Yeah. I think they put all their eggs in that basket, and once it didn't work, it was game over.
Well, really the adjustment of Raziel's position as well, too, because really on the ropes for most of that match, and then decided, hey, listen, parking lot's full here. I'm going to move to a different spot here. And when he was able to do that, it really seemed like we didn't see Luminous respond quick enough. Yeah,
he's so patient. And I think that is such a key, a skill to have as a backliner. You have to be patient. You can't rush into things. It's not an emotional position to have on the team. And Raziel is so good at keeping his cool and saying, okay, I've been in this perch. This is where I like to be set up. Clearly, everybody knows that now. So I'm going to go ahead and switch sides. I'm going to find a new perch and throw them off balance just a little bit. Again, get the opponent to go in another direction, which enabled all of his teammates to just crash right in and take advantage.
And that's a big win for Demise 9, because you're looking at maybe a 1-1 tie going into our 3rd game here in Clam Blitz. Luminous seemed like they really had control of that match for the majority of it, but Demise at the tail end, they get that big push, and they were able to really lock out Luminous much better than I felt Luminous could lock out Demise.
They were, and we've been talking a lot about Raziel. Let's give some credit to Tension and the rest of the frontliners there. Tension got that big double, almost triple to open that up. We talk so much about the back line aiding the front line. Sometimes the frontliners make plays. That's why they're the frontliners. That's why they get the big numbers. And it's because they're able to make plays like that to really just open things up.
Well, such a good point, because when that front line was able to have that success, and we saw Tension with that double splat, we saw Raziel really move up to that perch on the far right side, mid-right essentially. Right. And that applied all sorts of pressure from different angles, and Luminous could never bounce back from that point.
And you saw that immediately forced the Explosher, that weapon that paints so well and is so strong, into a really awkward position, got forced down to the bottom with almost no aid. The Explosher is, you know, it's not the slowest weapon, but it's not very quick either. So once you get isolated in that was easy pickings for the members of Demise, who were happy to go in and crash there.
Yeah.
Clam Blitz coming up on New Albacore Hotel, and we've seen on this level here, it is difficult to get to the other opponent's half of the stage here, but it's another level where your backliners, and if they can advance, Ashley, they can really help you out here. What else have you been seeing over our last 3 matches on Clam Blitz that has stood out to you from these teams that have won?
Well, something very similar to what Nine was just saying is that we're going to have to see Tension and Zero really go out of their way to make plays and allow Raziel to set up, to post up and be in the position he wants to be in and really apply that pressure.
Clam Blitz, New Albacore Hotel. Who will check in with a victory here? We'll find out. 9, break down the loadouts that we're seeing here. Anything really standing out to you?
You see that both sides have opted to bring in a custom dually squelcher here, just a little bit more range for them here. We've seen so much, all of the teams, one thing that's been consistent is if you have a slightly longer range weapon, you go ahead, you bring it here. And I like the fact that Jared is immediately going after Raziel, just trying to displace him. Because look at that, you can't do a whole lot about Raziel except hope he misses.
And this is a difficult map to displace the backliner of someone like Raziel, because again, it's not very accessible. There's a lot of things that you have to maneuver to get there. So Raziel licking his chops in this match because you've got cover, you've got a lot of grates in the way that will keep anybody from surprising you quickly here, Ab.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a sniper, you love this map because if you have to cross to get to your side of the map, you cannot swim, which means you're just gonna have to walk across, and you're a sitting squid. When it's a sniper, you can just point and shoot. It's great.
4-4 on the map. Demise with a 2-0 lead in this match, trying to take a commanding 3-0 lead, but we saw Luminous C threaten them in Splat Zones. Will they be able to do the same thing this time around in Clam Blitz? We have a pass of the Power Clam. Someone's got to pick up the loose ball there before it disappears. You see Jared in the far right corner of your screen.
Just got it.
Pick up the Power Clam. Just got it, but will Jared be able to stay alive and get to the base? Looks like you've got a couple of Power Clams closing in. Can Demise keep them at bay? You see Raziel, the backliner, trying to do all that he can to do so, but now you've got multiple threats here, 9. You don't know where they're coming from.
And I just want to applaud how clever of a play that was, understanding that, okay, I'm about to go down to the Stingray. Let's go ahead and save this as Raziel gets a bonker snipe there. But what that did was it essentially forced Demise to just stand back a little bit, say, okay, now we have to be careful that nobody sneaks in, because that's going to be a big push. It's one thing to let 1 in. Letting 2 in is scary. Their patience is rewarded with the first score. Let's see if they can follow it up.
Demise breaks the barrier. They get to just 80. No other clams joining the party there. DJ unable to get that one, falls just short, hits the dirt, 80 to 100. So Luminous C still very much in this one. They've got a power clam out there, and now it's Fluffy escaping the 2v1. Very smart, very patient move right there. Learn from that one, folks. 240.
When you see two opponents, maybe you
Get out of there. Yeah, not the 2-for-1 that you
Bring
wanted.
a friend.
You
That's
don't want
all
to be
I'm
the
saying.
one in a 2-for-1, that's for sure. Power Clam on the field for Demise. 4-4 on the field for both teams as well, too. So you've got a lot of action taking place right now.
Tension has the splashdown. I mean, this could be good.
There's
for
the jump.
Demise.
There's the jump. Great job there, and I love the fact, so Fluffy had the baller there at the top of the screen, but opted not to use it instantly. Instead, forced somebody out of the way for an easy baller route that is going to give them a paper-thin lead. That is only 1 clam. This is still very much anyone's game.
Only 1 clam, and that power clam will give Demise the lead if they can get it in the goal. And they've got 3 power clams on the field, so it's a matter of which ones do you grab. And you figure all 3 of them are coming in, but you have to be so careful of that coordinated super jump that we see when there's multiple power clams on the field here, 9.
And speaking of 3, they also have 3 specials at the ready here, about to be 4 if they want to go in, and it looks like 0 snuck through. Oh, this is going to be some big damage. Here they all
Critical
come.
point in the match, and that is 3 power clams that go into the base right there. 50 to 77 advantage for Demise, and you saw it right there, Ashley. When you can get the baller behind the enemy defenses, it's basically like opening up the doors for your teammates to super jump.
It is. You're setting everybody up, and then, like you said earlier, all it takes is a 1 this way, and then everybody knows you can jump right there.
Luminous C sneaking in there, though. They get a power clam to open up the basket and an ink storm, and here comes some clams to fill it out. Oh, they're
One
just
more
one
clam
short.
for a tie.
They're missing it. No, unable to do it, and so Demise getting the defense that they need, and now that'll tack on a healthy penalty as well, too. 17.
One power clam will tie the score.
1 power clam will tie the score. Luminous C still very much in this one. Tension with the power clam ready to go. Another one on the field for Demise also. So a couple of power clams. If you're Luminous C, you've got to be careful of the coordinated specials and the super jumps coming in. You can use that baller. You can use that splashdown to do so. Tension right now. Feeling a little bit of heat. DJ trying to back up, loses the 1v1. That is huge for Luminous C. 4-3 on the map. Is it all about defense right now for Luminous C, 9?
Well, you see right now they only have 9 clams, and Fluffy's holding 1, meaning their clams are very spread out right now. Their priority now needs to be to find a way. They do have that pity clam sitting there at the back, so they need to make sure that they have multiple threats. But you can see 0. They are waiting to jump to 0. They are trying to end the game right now, and I think they might have.
That will probably do it. They break the barrier. Time expires, and Demise takes a commanding 3-0 lead in this final match, best of 7. And really, it was the coordinated 1 jump that we saw from Demise. Luminous C threatened for a second there.
So close.
They were just 1 clam away from tying things up.
And something that's remarkable is I want you to take a look up there. Only 4 ballers from 0, and that was the only baller weapon they had. But every time 1 went down, they capitalized on it. There were 5 coming out of Luminous C. and there was not the same level of capitalization on those opportunities.
Certainly made it matter, and we continue to see Raziel did a great job early on in this match here, Ashley, of thwarting the threat of 2 power clams that were coming in by Luminous C. So once again, having that backline player that can secure things down for you was a huge advantage for them.
It absolutely was, and I have to give a lot of credit to Zero for really making use of those dualies. 13 splats. That is pretty remarkable on a map like this with Clam Blitz, especially somebody who's right out there in front. You don't expect those kind of numbers and sometimes, and Zero really did a great job of enabling Raziel to really post up, get comfortable, and just set up shop.
For Demise, it's the second game in a row here, 9, where they face an early deficit, they keep their cool, and then they mount a comeback. So if you're Luminous C, you have to be discouraged, you're down 3-0, but also encouraged because you've had control in the last 2 games.
Well, we said this would be our closest set, and I know it's 3-0, but you got to understand this is a closer 3-0 than the ones that we've seen so far.
It is.
I agree. You can't get discouraged. You understand it's not a game plan issue. It's execution. It's heat of the moment stuff, but that is what separates one tier from another tier, and certainly Demise on that tier.
Yeah, no margin for error between these 2 teams when you look at number 3 versus number 6 as far as the ranks coming in. Rainmaker's next, Piranha Pit. Long linear level here. You've got those treadmills and those ramps that'll break things up here. Ashley, what else are we looking to see from teams in Rainmaker if you're Demise and you want to try and make this a 4-0 sweep?
I mean, if you're Demise, I think Raziel is going to have to be a little more aggressive on this map, maybe a little less patient. I know that has carried them to victory 3 times in a row, but I think in the Piranha Pit, this is going to be a place where he's going to really have to be mobile. And so that could prove difficult, but as we've seen so far, it seems like he's doing a pretty good job.
Backliners in Rainmaker, it's still the same principle where you're having 4 teammates really move in that rubber band analogy, as you like to say, 9.
Rubber band, because it's 4 people, you want to make sure that as one moves, the other moves up with them. You want them to all be within reach so that you can help create a 2v1 at a moment's notice. You can't always call out and assume that someone will be able to be next to you. You have to preemptively be next to people, and that does not mean right next to people, because that will get you doubled very easily. But just the rubber band analogy we use because it's such a great way to talk about how people move together.
It's like this, and then people move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward, just like snapping a rubber band.
Or like the old Mario Kart AI.
Yes, very good.
Well, what we've seen with Rainmaker these last couple games as well, too, is pinning the Rainmaker deep in someone's territory and then doing a great job of fending off their approach. We saw that last time as we saw Feed to Win take on Team Upgrade. They got the Rainmaker pinned back deep into their base and were really able to thwart their efforts, and that chewed up a lot of clock. So sometimes it's not just about how far you advance it, but how well can you play defense and put it in a very difficult situation to get.
And I think that, honestly, if I'm Demise, that's exactly what I want to be doing. Because when you push deep into the opponent's territory and they are forced to try to make a comeback against you, that is when Raziel can get set up, get those easy snipes, and honestly, it fits the way Demise wants to play.
Demise taking on Luminous C in Piranha Pit. If Demise gets the victory here, they will join What, Low-Key Splatoon, and Feed to Win as our 4 finalists headed to PAX East. Luminous C, they want to delay the booking of any tickets for right now. 450 early on in this one, clearly. 4-4 on the field. Nothing major happening at this point. Here's both teams battle for position.
Look at how fast that slosher got its special. I mean, it's so impressive to me. Tension is so good at building specials so quickly, and it's just, it is an advantage.
It is an advantage, and I think that's one other just aspect. On top of all these other things players have to do to be really good, you have to be able to build up your special and know how close you are to it at all times.
Luminous C, early lead though with the Rainmaker, but we've seen this the last 2 matches. They get the lead, the early advantage. Demise keeps their cool, they don't panic, and they battle back. Here's DJ throwing out an Ink Storm right there, trying to rain on the parade of Luminous C. Demise, as you see, being patient. They don't grab that Rainmaker immediately. Now they do. You see a little bit of runway out in front of them. They've got a 4-2 advantage, and this is when you figure you see that push here, 9.
It is. Zero's Inkjet opened that one up right there. It is still devastating. He was actually able to get those 2 picks. Jared going to be in a pseudo 1v3 situation. Fluffy's going to be set up there and now has an Inkjet of their own. Great job, and they needed that bad.
That was huge. That was a one-on-one victory. Then you activate the Inkjet and you take out the Rainmaker. So fantastic defense by Luminous C. Let's see if they can take advantage of what they did right there and then push that Rainmaker back into the territory of Demise. They've got control of it. You see Fluffy at the bottom. going
Gotta
over that
just
top
survive
ramp.
that stingray.
Avoiding the stingray in mid-air and gets a critical splat on DJ. Now you've got Raziel up there with a splatter scope trying to apply some pressure. Oh, but the splat as Raziel continues to do what he does best.
That's tough.
And they did a great job of protecting Raziel there, too. You saw, I believe it was Zero, who had just respawned and came in and did just enough so that they couldn't immediately go after Raziel. You know, eventually Raziel is going to hit. You can't count on him to miss too many times.
4-3, Raziel has a stingray ready to go. We know how he likes to sit on that. Rainmaker in the hands of Demise. Here comes that stingray being deployed. 4-3 advantage still for Demise. Let's see if they can get one more Inkling off the map so they can make this push. They don't, and Luminous counters back with their own stingray, Ashley.
Man, that stingray is just so key, especially in maps like Piranha Pit where there's so much distance. It makes it so easy to be able to just like shut down those big rushes. And the fact that each team is able to build that so quickly is so impressive.
And 9, we see what makes these teams so great is you've got the Rainmaker. It's out. It's there for anybody's grabbing, but nobody takes it because we understand we don't have an advantage. And how about that? DJ falling into a splat bomb. And that's going to open things up here for Luminous as they have a 4-2 advantage, and they realize this is their opportunity to push.
This is a chance.
Let's see if they can get up the ramp. They go the back ramp here. Nix. I like extend their lead to 32, though.
I like the decision here because they sent their aggressive players up to the top side to try to get the follow-up there. They're going to be rewarded with even more points. What a beautiful split-second decision. Look, they're still 2 up on the raised area.
Luminous doing a great job of a little bait and switch right here on Demise, and Demise has got to look for some answers here. They're trying to
Gray's doing his best.
but Luminous continues to put that pressure. This is the point in the match we talked about, 9.
Oh, Fluffy! Can Fluffy get to it?
Fluffy
I got it! I don't believe it!
Fluffy, unbelievable, sneaks through the open door, throws the curling bomb and says, listen, y'all ain't gonna be here. I'm gonna celebrate myself. Luminous picks up their first game in this match, and that's a big-time victory.
That's so sneaky. I love it so much.
Complete full disclosure, I have no idea where Fluffy came from.
Me neither. I didn't see him.
We can see
saw
on
the whole map.
Spectator.
I couldn't see him. And then all of a sudden you just saw Fluffy pop up out of the map out of nowhere and just pick it up and be like, oh, I see I'm alone now. Like,
yeah, you can't turn your back to the table and you got a pork chop and a dog in the kitchen.
Oh,
and that's what we saw from Fluffy, able to grab it.
I can't believe that.
Keep an eye on the last few seconds here. We've got the view.
He's up there.
You see the stingray by Raziel up top.
Did Fluffy just wait the entire time?
DJ in the bottom left. Fluffy's just hanging out in the corner. You can't see him, but Fluffy is just cozy in the ink,
sitting right there.
underneath the timer. Fluffy's hanging out, still being patient.
Oh
Raziel can't pick him off, still hanging out, but then here comes the whole team. Because this is what was interesting here, 9. You see the Rainmaker start to flash. They're trying to get it to reset automatically. Fluffy sneaks in through the back door and not a squid in sight.
I can't believe what I just saw.
That
and Raziel was this close to finding him. He was this close.
That's not supposed to work at this level. That is not. That is why that is so surprising to see here. We saw earlier.
That was fun.
If you'll think back to an earlier set where Team Upgrade was so slow to move up the map because they did not want that happening. Typically, that's how it goes, and they just did not account for the fact that one person had not gone down. They probably said, okay, this person's down, this person's down. All right, let's go to the middle.
3-1, it's going to reset. Let's all head back to the middle. And
gotta
rightfully
watch it
so. But,
every second.
Yep.
Well, what was great about Fluffy is he was waiting for the Rainmaker to flash as well, too. Because at that point, we knew what Demise was thinking. Listen, it's going to reset. It'll be in the middle. We'll regain possession. And you see that Fluffy's alive on the top bar. You just don't know where he's at. And Fluffy being so patient right there, even with Raziel trying to splatter scope him out of there.
I can't believe what I just saw.
It was a brave play, too, because that whole time, you could have seen Fluffy, and I think a lot of players would have, tried to assist their sloshing machine in that situation and continue the conventional pressure. I don't know who made that call and who decided to do that, but it was executed perfectly.
Okay.
You have to fool your friends to fool your enemies, and, well, I don't know if you consider me your friend, but you fooled me, so congratulations.
You're mad for a second that Fluffy, like, hey, man, why are you throwing me under the bus here? You're just hiding while I get splatted, and then you're like, oh, never mind. I guess that was a good strategy. Good job.
Well, here's where it gets really interesting because we have Splat Zones next, and short of their victory that we saw in Rainmaker, this is where Luminous saw their greatest success so far. It was really just losing the game late in Humpback Pump Track to Demise. now you go to Splat Zones. Ashley, if you can pick up another game here, it's all of a sudden 3-2, and the pressure shifts onto the shoulders of Demise.
Absolutely, and this is a great opportunity for Luminous Seed to ride a little bit of that momentum of having pulled off something so outrageous, and to also take advantage of potentially maybe a little bit of, like, if I am Demise, I am furious right now. Like, I'm so upset. Like, you're that close. It just was right there. So I think there's a really good opportunity for Luminous Seed to take advantage of that mental game too, and be like, hey, like, this is, let's carry that momentum.
It'll be Splat Zones and Walleye Warehouse, and this is certainly a stage here, 9, where you need to sprint to the zone to gain control, because you can be at a huge disadvantage if you're pushed back into your base.
Absolutely no margin for error here. We keep saying the name, but Raziel needs to be the MVP here for Demise, and we're going to need to see Umbre on that custom jet squelcher also come up big. The first game we saw this matchup, Umbre did not have his best game. I know he's coming out here hoping for a better one.
Raziel trying to pick off a couple of squids early on. Control goes to Demise. Keep an eye on that. Luminous Sea trying to regain momentum in the middle of the map. Tension, applying some more pressure with that sloshing machine. And already Demise with a 25-point lead, but it's 3-3 on the map, and you've got a special ready to go for Luminous Sea. Tension trying to go up the back alleyway, but here comes a timely Ink Storm. This might be enough for Luminous Sea to try and force recontrol of the zone. Oh, but that Inkjet was huge by 0, and now Demise double full control of this one here, 9.
This honestly might go 100-0 here. As you see, they did a great job of misdirecting and having an Ink Storm go the other way as their main force, but they weren't able to take it because of that timely Inkjet. Jared does get a pick there on Raziel. That could prove key, but they are running out of time here. The Stingray needs to find at least one person if they are going to get this neutralization, and they do. Great composure there.
Luminous Sea with an Ink Storm as well, too. That'll help, and they regain control and tack on a huge penalty to Demise. So maybe Luminous Sea will give Demise a taste of their own medicine with a comeback in the middle of this one. They've got control, and now Demise has got to pick the correct alleyway to make their way through. How do you come back on this map here, 9? Because we talked about how much of a challenge it is.
This right there, the big screaming Stingray, you use that to either force somebody to jump out, force them out of your way, or force them back to spawn. Something along those lines. And there Raziel was able to get one out of the way. You see that immediately scrambled the members of Luminous Sea, and credit to Demise's frontliners capitalizing and knowing exactly where to go.
Huge play by Demise. They take a 4-2 advantage and control of the zone. They tack on the 45-second penalty to Luminous Sea, so that's going to make it even more difficult for Luminous Sea to mount a comeback. They've got to build up their specials. They've got a couple ready to go, but Demise very comfortable where they're at right now, slowly pushing forward, trying to lock things out. But actually, that Ink Storm has been very helpful so far for Luminous Sea.
It is. It's a really, really good special, I think, for any kind of Splat Zone. Perfect execution there on taking out 2 people on. Oh man, okay, this could be good.
And they needed the second one there, and I'll tell you why. If they still had that frontliner there and had taken out Jared, they would have lost the entire pressure they had built on the right side, because you'll notice the defense and coming over and helping that 2v1 was not there at the time. That could be the turning point that gets it. And you'll look at the top of the screen, 3 of their members reasonably close to building specials.
Fantastic job by Luminous Sea, and you saw the double splat essentially. That regained control, 0 with the Inkjet trying to normalize things, and the Stingray coming out as well too. But Luminous Sea, they lose control again, 9. And just when they're knocking on the door, Demise able to come back, and you have to love their ability to be able to push back on such a tight, narrow level.
And what's so frustrating about that, if you are Luminous Sea, is now the penalty starts to take effect too. They didn't get a ton of points from that last push, and they still lost about 30 points in terms of their penalty here. So now Demise is okay just trading the zone back and forth, because they know that eventually if they keep trading that, they're going to apply just as much penalty as the opponent is.
Time becomes the 5th opponent for Luminous Sea at this point here, Ash.
Raziel just jumped right back to base, gets ready to use that beautiful, beautiful jet. The screech of the jet.
The Stingray,
Stingray
is so much damage right now.
He's doing exactly what he needs to be doing, and he's doing it very well.
And this is Demise's chance to move forward to PAX East, just 5 seconds away. They gain control, and that almost spoke too soon right there. Couple of splats right there, 4-2 advantage for Demise. They're looking to close things out. They're just 2 seconds away, and that does it. Signed and sealed. Demise facing a little bit of heat, a little bit of pressure from Luminous C, but they were able to just really mount those comebacks exactly when they needed to, Nine, and the timely use of their specials as well.
You know, all the time we talked about Inkjet, we talked about Baller, we talked about Stingray. How about a splashdown being the final special that really sets that? That was a double, and I don't know how long exactly Tension waited there to do that. You saw running away from the Stingray, finding himself on the top of the box and saying, well, I guess might come down with a little authority here.
Yeah.
And they just weren't ready. Normally you can shoot that down, but you can't. You can only react so quickly there. But you're right, Jordan. Great job understanding that even though they have a great opponent, there's a lot of heat. That's more of what we would expect from a set like that. Even though it's 4-1, it's that close 4-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. And the fact that Luminous C had to deal with that penalty so often made things very difficult for them because, as you said, they'd get the zone, but they're still waiting for 45 seconds of clock before they even score. And when they do, they were only picking up 5 or 6 points.
That's not a good numbers game.
No, it's not at all. Let's look at some of the instant replays from this terrific matchup we had between Demise and Luminous C. And early on, Ashley, during Clam Blitz, you really saw the great coordinated efforts of Zero getting that baller in there.
He did such a good job on this map. I mean, he really made a lot of things happen. He allowed everybody to get in there. He made the plays. He got the splats. He had enough ballers to really make it happen.
And then you continue to see in Splat Zones Zero with the Inkjet, and that was a huge opportunity early on for Demise to take the lead. And you have to credit Luminous C for battling back as well, too. And listen, it was a close matchup, but as you said, in a lot of these matchups here, Nine, it's razor thin. Even though it's 4-1, it was much closer than how it appeared.
It was. And, you know, even that instance right there where we saw that Inkjet, that is what allowed them to push from in the 50s to all the way down to 15, which is what they got. And that big of a lead, as long as you can continue to swap back and forth and apply penalties.
Almost insurmountable.
And again, it's that one Inkjet play that opened that up. Hindsight is 20/20, of course, but it does show you how razor thin, as you put it, these matches really are.
So we have our 4 teams. We have What, Low-Key Splatoon, Feed to Win, and Demise. We saw all 4 of them really have relative ease as they punched their ticket to PAX East. If you're looking at these 4 teams, who's your early favorite when you kind of examine all 4 of them here, Ashley? We saw some fantastic play here.
You know, okay. I think the obvious answer here is What. Everybody's like, oh, they've been there before. They've gone the distance. We've seen them make it to World Championships. You know, I'm gonna make a little out of the box guess.
Okay.
I think we can look at Low-Key Splatoon as a team that might shake them up. Like I feel like they have the ability to break the meta so well that I feel like there's a real chance there.
I'm going with the boring answer. What? All the way. I will go with them until they give me a reason not to. And every time Penguin has entered this tournament, he has won it.
He has won it.
I believe
I know.
They are every bit as strong as last year's team, if we're being honest there. I really think that they understand what it takes here. They're refreshed, they're revitalized, and they had, I mean, it was easy today. I know FT Win's a popular pick too, but I'm going with What until they lose.
Yeah, Feed to Win, the only other team to sweep their way to PAX East and these 4 finals. So it'll be very exciting on March 30th when we get a chance to see these 4 teams really battle it out. We continue to talk about the meta evolving, but at the end of the day, the best teams will win when it's all said and done. So that'll do it for the Splatoon 2 North American Inkling Open. We'll bring you the finals from PAX East here in a couple weeks. These teams will get a chance to really warm up, scout each other, which will be terrific. But make sure you stick around because at noon Pacific time, we'll be bringing you the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate North America Open 2019, the second online final. We'll find out who else will join our 4 other finalists representing the Northeast, the Southeast, the Southwest, and the Northwest. Stick around. We'll be back with some great action.